you know that the government doesn't actually know how many agencies there are?
I didn't.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't know.
Nice.
I didn't know.
There have been several studies that they have tried to do to determine how many agencies there are in the federal government, and they do not know. They have no clue.
It
Awesome.
blows my mind, though. But you ask the normal person, though, they will think, oh, that's EPA's awesome. They're making the rivers clean and shit. I'm like, no, they're not. They're just hurting economic growth through bureaucracy and red tape.
Information is free.
The law.
There is hope.
The Johnny Rocket Launch Pad. And now, here's Johnny.
Hey, it's Johnny Rocket here at the Johnny Rocket Launchpad, always launching ideas in your direction, the Northwest's only rock and roll libertarian radio show. I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Kurt Nelson.
Yes, sir.
My voice of reason, the beautiful, sexy, talented, hot mama jamma, my girl, Miss Heather Nixon.
Hello, and you know what else I am?
What's that?
I was told today.
You're the vox of reason.
No, I was not. I was told I was racist.
Really?
Yes.
I was.
Ah,
That's awesome.
that's bad.
No, that's cool.
No,
white-
you're not supposed to be racist. Racist is bad.
That's street cred.
a white woman told me I was racist.
Oh,
That's
really?
the irony of it.
That is the best part. She
That's
said
awesome.
she said that I, a white woman, was discriminating against her because she's a white woman.
Whoa.
Awesome. It made my day.
All right. All
Wasn't
right.
there another incident? You had another person said something too, didn't you?
Wow,
Other
this
than
multiple
her?
times?
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
he was more talking about the agency I work for as a whole.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And I can't go more into that, because of privacy.
Privacy laws and shit
Yeah.
like that. Anyway, so yeah, it's a beautiful day here in Washington. It's getting nice and warm, and the birds
is.
are out,
It
and it's
is.
starting to get hot, and we are enjoying the weather. We just got back from the Washington State Libertarian Convention.
How was that?
Pretty good, pretty good. We had a good time. We hung out with Ben Swan.
Tim Moen,
Tim
running
Moen?
for Parliament up in Canada.
Yeah, Canadian Libertarian Party leader. God, who else was over there?
Robin Kerner.
Robin Kerner was there. From
Robin
from the Blue Republican.
I love that guy.
I know,
I
he's
love
cool.
that guy.
We hung out with St. Addis, and God, we're just all over the map that whole weekend. We're just running around. Oh, and we actually met Nicholas Sarwark.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the
Nice.
national chairman. Nice guy. So
Yeah, we took selfies with him.
at the bar,
Selfies.
we're all drunk off our asses.
Yeah, and
sweet.
I got to get drunk.
She did.
Oh, I'm so sorry I missed that.
I know, she got trashed.
I'm sorriest. Is that a word?
Sorriest.
Is that a
Yes.
word? I don't think it's a word.
Yes.
Sorriest.
Sorriest.
About that.
Yeah. Anyways, this is Johnny Rocket here at the Johnny Rocket Launchpad, and I'm going to introduce a very special guest, a great guy. Not only we've been hanging out, talking on the phone a lot, but he's really cool. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about him after I introduce him. So here we go, my very special guest here on the Johnny Rocket Launchpad. Give it up for Mr. Jason Stapleton! How you doing, Jason?
I'm doing well. That's the best intro I've ever been given. That was pretty good. Thanks.
If we can do one thing right, it's good intros. Everything else we can throw right out the fucking window.
It goes downhill from here.
It's all downhill. Okay, so Jason Stapleton is the founder and host of the Jason Stapleton Program. It's the top-ranked show on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, with tens of thousands of listeners with over 110 countries plus. He's an entrepreneur, speaker, investor, professional trader. He is a former Marine and makes his home in the smack dab in the middle of America with his wife and kids. Not only that, he's a friend of mine, and he also does some trading and stuff that we do not understand. And his website is jasonstapleton.com, and you can also find him at tradeempowered.com.
I got to add something to that, though.
Go ahead.
He's got the coolest studio I've ever seen.
I know.
Like, you watch his show, and it's like he's driving the Starship Enterprise.
It is.
It's so awesome.
It's very cool.
Well, thank you, man. No, people like to comment on that. We've spent a lot of time trying to create something cool, and I guess we've succeeded because people like it. So
Yeah.
we've tried to push the envelope in terms of what people are doing in our kind of in our space, in our community, and that's something I carried forward from my other businesses that I wanted to see with this. I took a look before I started my show and just said, well, what's everybody else doing, and what are they doing right, and then where are we lacking? And I think there's all kinds of great content out there, but I think the entertainment value lacks. Most libertarian folks are not very fun. I mean, you guys, of course, are extremely fun. That's why I like the show so much. And when Johnny and I first linked up, and I had a chance to listen to several of your episodes, I thought, well, man, these guys are awesome. This is exactly what we need. We need more guys who are willing to just cut back and have a good time, because there's way too much of this, like, let's discuss the difference between anarcho-capitalism and minarchism. It's just like, I mean, suck start my pistol.
Right? No, totally.
Right? Nobody wants. There's a place for that. Don't get me wrong. There's a discussions for that inside of the community. But when you're trying to win over hearts and minds, nobody wants to hear about that crap.
Exactly.
And so I said, well, I want to do a current event show that talks about what's happening in the world and apply this concept of individual liberty and free markets to it. And let's talk about the why it's so important, and the damage that these other philosophies of progressivism and communism and the other isms that you want to talk about, that the downside of that.
Right.
And point out the flaws in that argument, and highlight the good things about liberty and about freedom. And that's what we did. And I decided that I would go ahead and make an investment and build out a studio, because I've got some big plans on what I want to do in the future. And people are really responding well. So that I'm just really glad that you guys invited me on, because I love what you guys are doing. I love the show. I told Johnny this, but to you guys, Heather and Kurt, I absolutely love what you're doing.
Oh,
I think
thank you.
It's a fantastic show. It is unique. It is outside the box, and we absolutely need more of what you guys are doing.
Thank you very much.
Wow,
man.
yeah, thanks a lot.
I'm gonna cry now, man. That's pretty nice.
I promised myself I wasn't gonna cry.
This is pretty cool. Thank you, man. No, this is man. And seriously, your show, just like I watched it, I'm like, holy shit, this is just off the chart. And you have a great. I mean, hell, you're on Skype and you sound like you're in this room with us.
It's same mics,
and
same
you're using
mics.
an SM7. That's a great mic, man. It's my favorite mic.
Yeah, actually, I'm in my home studio now. I have a studio, a video and audio studio in my home as well as at the office. And here at the house, I've got the RE20 microphone.
RE20 is a great mic too. Yeah,
no, it's a great broadcaster mic, and I switch back and forth. But yeah, no, I've tried to create something that's really high quality, and you can't get around entertaining content. If it's not entertaining, people they don't want to watch. They don't care if you're streaming in HD, right?
Yeah,
that's right.
I'm gonna do a show on my iPhone.
Yeah, like
with that little mic.
Crap on HD is still crap.
Exactly.
That's exactly right. So I'm glad that we're continuing to see the numbers grow, as I know you guys are, and it's we're trying to do it right. We're trying to do something that's engaging, that gets people motivated and off the couch and involved in some way, even if it's just confronting someone in around the water cooler, around the coffee pot,
right,
when they hear madness being spewed.
Oh, totally.
And just say, I don't think that's right. So I don't think that's. I think we ought to chat about that a little bit.
Right. No, absolutely. Right. You got into, obviously, you kind of got into politics at one point in your life, but did you start getting into politics because of trading and economics and stuff like that? It just kind of followed suit.
No, it was the other way around.
Okay.
I've always loved politics, and just as much about and involved with that is this idea of economics and what I've always been fascinated with why things work specifically in economics.
Sure.
What causes economies to grow. This concept that the pie could get bigger was a really fascinating concept to me. Like, how's that work? How does money supply work? And so I started when I was overseas. I don't know how far back you want me to go, but I've done everything. I've been a crazy neocon. I've been I was in a special operations unit in the Marines. I went to work for Blackwater, that evil criminal,
right?
Mercenary organization. I've been around,
right?
And when I was doing that stuff, I decided, I really had this interest. I wanted to get out of kind of doing that. And I started looking at trading and investing as a way to get out. And I started studying. And I found that I really had this passion for politics and economics and financial markets. And I thought, how can I kind of be part of all of that at the same time? And currency markets really encompass all of that stuff. And
very cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
And so I started studying currency markets and what causes currencies to move and what causes money flows to change. And that led me, of course, to Mises and Hayek and the Austrian school, along with the Keynesian school. And I started studying a lot of that stuff. And in addition to studying about markets and charts and all the things that go into that as well.
Wow.
And one of the things that I ran into was I really loved it. And so I left contracting. I left the security business and came home to trade full time.
Wow.
But I'm not a terribly social person, but I do need interaction. Like if you put me in a room full of people that I don't know, I will not engage. I will sit in the corner and act pissed off.
Right.
Right?
I'm just the opposite. I'm like, how you doing? I'm Johnny.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
See, my
That's
business
how we met.
partner is that way. I had a guy one time, like I rode my motorcycle one day, and I was down at the bookstore, and I'm standing there looking at the magazines, and I'm buying time for something. I can't remember what I was buying time for. I was sitting around, kind of just hanging out, and I'm looking at the magazines, and some dude comes up, and I'm holding my motorcycle helmet in my hand. He goes, "Hey man, what's up?" And I'm like, "Hey." He goes, "So you ride motorcycles?"
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. Like, what was the giveaway? No, I just carry my helmet with me. And he starts asking me about my helmet and everything. And I was finally just like, dude, do I know you? And I realized when I walked away, he was like, "Oh no, man, yeah." And he just kind of like wandered off. And I thought, man, I was kind of being a dick. But I'm just like, I don't know you. I don't want to. And it comes from my background. I told my business partner is exactly the opposite. He's like never met anybody he can't become friends with. He's shopping in the store. I've been with him. He's shopping in the store. He's looking at rice noodles. And some lady comes up with her 3 kids, and he's like engaging them in a conversation. I'm like, you don't need to talk to them.
Right.
But that's just his way. But I told him a story. I said, I used to get on a plane. I would get on a plane in Kansas City, and I would fly to Jordan. And I'd get off a plane in Jordan. I'd go to the hotel. I'd sleep overnight. I'd wake up in the morning. I'd get back in a car. I'd go to the airport. I'd fly into Iraq, and I wouldn't talk to anybody. I wouldn't talk to a single person. Like literally, I would fly from the air. I'd hand him my passport. I'd get my stuff on the plane. I'd fly to Jordan. When I got to Jordan, there'd be a guy there holding a sign. I'd walk up to him. He'd take my bags. He'd take me through security, so I didn't have to talk to anybody in security. He'd put me in a car. They'd take me to the hotel, where the lady at the hotel would know I was coming. And I would walk up and I would hand her my passport at the hotel. She would give me the keys to my room. I would go up to my room. The next morning, I'd come back down. There'd be a car waiting for me. I'd go to the airport. I'd hop back on the plane, go into work. I wouldn't talk to a soul.
You haven't said a word yet to anybody.
I haven't said a word to anybody.
24 hours later.
And this whole thing was, the whole concept was operational security. My whole life, the whole first half of my life was operational security. Never talk to anybody. If anybody's asking you questions, it's because they want to extract information out of you.
It's called OPSEC. It's called OPSEC.
And you get out into the real world, after you leave that life, and you're just like, man, this is ridiculous. And so I realized I had to start engaging myself and learning to be a people person, or at least learn to pretend like I'm a people person.
Right.
So what I started to do was I started going to these little business networking events that they had. Now at this time, my company was really successful, and so I had time. Like I had people who worked for me, and I didn't have to spend all day like trying to build my business up. And I would go to these guys, and I would sit in these networking events. And just for any of your listeners, anybody who's going to a networking event at 10:30 in the morning is doing so because they don't have any business.
Right.
So it's all a bunch of like insurance salesmen and accountants that are all passing their cards out to each other. But I would go there literally to just talk to people and just be like, hey, and act interested in their day so that I could try and figure out.
It's really hard.
Well, yeah, no, for me, it was extremely difficult. I did this for weeks.
Yeah, it sounds exactly like the way I am. Because again, Johnny is so outgoing, and we'll be walking to the grocery store, and he's smiling, and he's making. I'm like, don't make eye contact. Don't make eye contact.
Exactly.
And now in what we do now, like we went to the convention, or it's a Hot Rod and Romeo show, and I'm selling merch, and I'm smiling, and I'm talking to people, and it's literally painful. It's painful. Yep. I go home and rock in the corner.
She hates it.
I did a live event in Kansas City a couple of years ago where we had like 100 people come out, and I was teaching a bunch of stuff to them, and after that was over, I said, I'm never doing that again. It was the most uncomfortable thing for me to have to put a smile on my face all day long and chit chat with people. I don't know how to chit chat. I just don't do it well, and so I just have decided that it's really not my thing, and it's okay that it's not my thing.
I just hate it when you're in a situation where you're in a room and you're talking to 2 or 3 people at the same time, and you have 3 conversations going on because 3 people ask you different questions. You're like, I don't know, you first. What do you want? 2, okay. Yes. 3. No. Okay, and I'm out because I can't juggle. I can't walk and chew gum, man. That's my problem. I do like to engage with people, but I don't like being overwhelmed with 5 or 6 people asking me questions. That's my problem.
I was going to tell you, I actually watched your, congratulations first on going to the libertarian thing and getting a chance to speak there. I listened to your speech just this evening. I finally found the video to it and it was awesome.
Nice.
You really, It's just a great job, man.
Oh, thank you.
You did dog Kansas, which I don't understand why you had to rub that.
Yeah, Mac Worley. That's
Why
right.
would anybody want to go there?
Oh, that's right. I did say that. I'm sorry. That's true though, man. There's you got like a mall maybe, right?
It is true, man. I promised myself when I moved back here that I wasn't going to stay. I said, there's no way I'm staying in Kansas. Why? Yeah, I want to stay here. Wait, this is where people come to die. This is where old people come.
That's
they
Florida.
live in California, and they want to sell their $500,000 2-bedroom bungalow
Right.
and buy a 7,000 square foot place out here. That's what happens here.
Hey, Jason, you had a really interesting thing going on here. You being a successful white guy in the suburbs, right, in Kansas, you were driving a Mercedes, right? And you had all this white privilege going on.
That's right.
And this was like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
What happened really quick? Tell us kind of a synopsis what happened.
Yeah, no, I was heading into the studio in the morning. I normally get up I get up pretty early. I normally am up before 5 and I leave the house about 5:15 or so and head into the studio and I stop for a cup of coffee and fill up my car with gas. And as I'm heading out, I live in a suburb of Kansas City. It's a nice suburb, safe suburb, and I'm driving in my car, and yeah, I have a Mercedes, and so I'm just cruising down the road, and I'm hitting stoplights as I'm going, but it's a big 4-lane road with a big grass median in the middle of it, and. As I'm going through a stop sign, I look in my rearview mirror and I got lights coming in my rearview mirror. So I'm like, oh, man, what's this guy want? And so I get over and I pull over I was in the left lane, so I move over to the right lane and I'm trying to figure out because there's cars between us.
Right.
You know, is he after me? Initially, I think, well, he's got to be after me, right? Because I'm sure I've done something wrong.
Okay.
But he ends up pulling in behind me and I'm like, great. What's this guy want? I'm speeding? I don't know if I'm speeding or not. And so because I wasn't paying it. It's 5:30 in the morning. I wasn't paying any attention to what I was doing. And a guy comes up to my car and he says, hey, you didn't signal when you changed lanes back there. You were kind of weaving in and out of traffic without signaling. He said, was that on purpose or were you just not paying attention? So, I mean, I was a police officer. I was a sheriff's deputy for a couple of years. I've been through the academy. And so I know all the little sneaky tricks that he's trying to pull. And the very first question they always ask you is, do you know how fast you were going? I was doing 65. Well, it's a 55-mile-an-hour zone, so I just got you. You just admitted that you committed a crime.
Right.
So there's no justification if you try and take this to court that you're not guilty.
Okay.
So he asked me, well, were you intentionally not signaling? Were you intentionally breaking the law? Or were you just not paying attention? And I said, well, I was just headed to work.
Okay.
He said, oh, really? Where's work? And I said, that way. And I pointed in the direction of my travel.
You gave him a cardinal direction or nothing wrong
That's right. I
with
gave him and he said, well, where is that exactly? Or something along those lines. And I just looked at him and I was getting a little frustrated. And I said, is that pertinent to your investigation? Because you've got a Fifth Amendment right. You don't have to answer any questions.
No,
I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. But it's like, look, man, you pulled me over. It's 5:30 in the morning. You got my license. You got my insurance. Just go do your job.
Give me a ticket or whatever you're going to do.
Why do you need to know? Why do we have to discuss what I'm doing this afternoon? I don't know.
Are you going to have lunch?
Yeah. And so I just like, is this pertinent to the to your,
right.
To your investigation? He's like, oh, great, that's fine. He goes back to his car. I'm sitting there waiting. Next thing I know, another squad car pulls in.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. And I'm like, oh, here we go. Because the only reason you call another car is for felony stop. I know in Kansas, at least, I don't know how they do it in Washington, but in Kansas, if you call a second car in, it's typically because you need backup for some kind of felony stop. They require 2 vehicles for a felony stop.
Wow.
So I'm like, God, what does this mean now? This guy, and I see him, he's talking to the guy in the window, and they're kind of working out what they're going to do. And I'm like, great, he's going to come back here, and I know what he's going to do. He's going to try and escalate on me. And so he does. He comes back, and he says, are you wearing contact lenses? And I said, yeah, I'm wearing contacts. Like, okay, let me see, because I can't see if you're wearing them or not. I'm like, come on. Right?
Look into my eyes.
So he takes his flashlight out and he's shining his flashlight in my eyes. And again, what he's looking for is he's looking for some reason to escalate. He's trying to see, do I have pupil dilation when he waves it in my eyes? Anything less than that gives him an excuse to escalate.
Wow.
The other guy is looking in my back windows and trying to figure. The whole time I'm thinking,
what's the point?
I'm like, I'm white. I'm not supposed to happen to me. I would expect this if I was driving a Cutlass Supreme at 3 o'clock in the morning in downtown Kansas City, and I was black. That I would expect, but not where I'm at.
Right.
Not at 5:30 in the morning. So the next thing he says is he says, "What do I smell in your car?"
What?
And I'm like, I'm like, and I said, stop. I said, what you doing? Just stop it. When am I going to do this with you? And he goes, well, when was the last time that you had any marijuana? And I'm like, what? I'm not going to answer that question.
Right.
For all of your listeners, I'm about as square as I'm a purely domesticated man at this point. I got 4 kids. I got a wife. I'm so square, I wouldn't even know where to buy drugs. If I wanted to get them, I'd be like down on the corner going, hey, you guys got any crack? I wouldn't even know.
Right.
And so the idea that this guy smells something in my car is utterly ridiculous.
Okay.
And he can't get me on that. So he asks me, well, when was the last time anybody else had anything in your car? And I said, never. He goes, well, what is that I smell? And I said, you smell nothing. You could literally smell nothing because there's nothing there.
Wow.
And so he writes me a ticket. He writes me a $70 ticket for failure to signal a lane change 3 different times.
Wow.
And then he sends me on my way. But it was funny because I already had an interview set up with the guy. I don't do an interview show. My show is really just me ranting about whatever I think is important.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And I already had this interview with the guys who wrote this book called Battlefield America. And it's specifically about the encroachment of the police state on society.
Right.
And, you read that with a sense of detachment. Like, I get that this happens, but there's 300 million Americans. These are probably isolated incidents. And then when it happens to somebody like me, that really doesn't fit any sort of profile, I'm the exact opposite of somebody that you would think you'd pull over and try and screw over on a drug charge.
You're probably wearing like a sweater.
Yeah. The thing is, I was wearing my ball cap. My ball cap says Force Recon across the top of it. Okay. And what the problem was, I didn't notify him that I had a gun in the car. Now, I have a concealed carry permit, but what I didn't want, because the guy asked me as I was getting ready to pull away, he said, oh, you should really clean out your car. Because I had a series of Wall Street Journal newspapers on the seat. And I wanted
that's terrible.
Oh, no, I wanted to get into it with him. Because what I thought was, oh, really? Well, you looking for some extra work? Why don't you come over on your day off? You can give it a wash and a puff. I'll pay you a decent wage, right? So I thought about just really giving it to this guy, but I thought, nah, because if he decides to get me out of the car and he searches, not only is he going to find the gun, but he's also going to open up my trunk. And in my trunk, I've got a go bag. I've got like an everyday carry bag that's got, I guess there was some silver in there, and I've got radios, and I got everything you would need for a day at the range. And then I've also got a go bag full of like ammunition, like a couple of 100 rounds.
Oh, so you're a terrorist.
He's a terrorist now.
Also, I'm totally a terrorist, man.
And a libertarian.
He pulls me over. He finds the gun. He finds I'm obviously on my way to commit some sort of mass shooting. And so I thought, it's better if I just carry on, because this guy's gonna it's only gonna get worse if I run my mouth.
Probably a good call.
Hey, Jason, really quick, this is Johnny Rocket here at the Johnny Rocket Launchpad, always launching ideas in your direction. I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Curtin Nelson.
Yes, sir.
Voice of reason, the beautiful Heather Nixon. We're talking with Jason Stapleton. His website is jasonstapleton.com, and you can also find him in tradeempowered.com. He has YouTube videos all over the internet. Awesome stuff. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to have Billy's Burns, whatever chaps his ass, and we'll be right back, so stick around.
Make sure you go to Glass Doctor of Seattle so they can diagnose your home, auto, or business glass. Mention the Johnny Rocket Launchpad to receive 10% off your service. See what Glass Doctor can do for you at www.glassdoctorseattle.com.